For nearly a decade, from December 2002 to November 2011, at least one former University of Miami player scored a touchdown in every single NFL regular season week. Every single week. From Hall of Famers to one-season wonders, the U's alumni lit up scoreboards across the league. But the numbers behind this streak are even more mind-boggling than you might think. During this 149-week run, Miami alumni averaged 4.4 touchdowns per week. They scored in 8 different NFL stadiums against all 32 NFL teams multiple times. The shortest touchdown? A 1-yard run. The longest? A 107-yard interception return. Leading the charge was Clinton Portis with 70 touchdowns, followed closely by Willis McGahee with 63, and Frank Gore with 49. Wide receiver Reggie Wayne found the end zone 68 times, while Andre Johnson added 52 scores of his own. Portis accumulated 11,941 yards from scrimmage in his entire career, ranking 66th all-time. McGahee had an uncanny nose for the goal line, with 38 of his touchdowns coming from 3 yards or fewer. He was just a dog in short yardage situations and was relentless. But don't let that fool you. He was not a one-trick pony. He also notched 10 touchdowns from 30 yards out, showcasing his breakaway speed that made him a constant big play threat. McGahee's impact on the game was profound, with 26 of his touchdowns giving his team the lead and another 6 tying the score. He was a master of setting the tone, scoring 21 of his touchdowns in the first quarter. His versatility was on full display as he contributed to Miami's streak while playing for 4 different NFL teams: the Bills, the Ravens, Broncos, and Browns. McGahee's most prolific season came in 2009 with the Ravens, when he reached pay dirt 14 times. He scored in double digits 3 different seasons: 2004, 2005, and 2009, spanning 6 years, demonstrating remarkable longevity and consistency at a position that has a shortened lifespan every few years. What's particularly impressive about Frank Gore's contributions is his big play ability. During this period, he had 10 touchdowns from 30 yards out. Gore's impact on the game was significant, with many of his touchdowns either giving his team the lead or tying the game. During this period, Gore scored against 20 different NFL teams. He was particularly effective against divisional rivals, scoring 16 touchdowns against NFC West opponents during the streak. Gore's durability was also crucial to the streak. Despite the physical nature of his position, he played in 95 out of a possible 112 games during this period. His contribution to the streak is even more impressive considering he was doing this as the focal point of the 49ers offense, often facing stacked boxes and keyed-on defenses. Gore still managed to find the end zone consistently. Reggie Wayne's scoring prowess was crucial in maintaining Miami's streak, with touchdowns in every season from 2002 to 2011. Wayne's versatility is evident in his touchdown distribution: 26 go-ahead scores, 5 game-tying touchdowns, and a long of 71 yards, demonstrating his ability to impact games at critical moments. With 23 touchdowns of 30-plus yards, Wayne proved to be a deep ball threat as well as a reliable red zone target, with 22 touchdowns from 4 to 9 yards. Andre Johnson scored 8 of his touchdowns from 30 or more yards out, scored 23 go-ahead touchdowns, and 10 game-tying scores. Perhaps most impressively, Johnson maintained his scoring prowess despite quarterback changes, catching touchdown passes from 6 different signal callers during the streak. If you followed the Houston Texans at this time, you'd know these weren't the best quarterbacks. The Hurricanes' touchdown streak wasn't just sustained by star players, but also by a diverse cast of contributors who found ways to score in crucial moments. Roscoe Parrish exemplified this versatility, adding 11 touchdowns in various ways: 7 receiving, 3 punt returns, and 1 rushing. Javaris James, despite a brief NFL career, made an impact with 6 rushing touchdowns in just 4 career NFL games with the Colts.
In Indianapolis, Javaris James, the first cousin to Edgerrin James. Look at that, he is stopped at the 2, and he still drives forward.
James straight ahead, and James has the touchdown. Javaris James, they go back to James. He's got his 2nd touchdown of the day.
James in a tailback, he gets it, and he fights his way in for the touchdown. James again, touchdown!
James on the carry, James has a touchdown for Indianapolis.
James Jackson chipped in with 5 rushing touchdowns for the Cleveland Browns, while Sonoris Moss contributed 3 touchdowns for the New York Giants.
Sonoris Moss for a Giants touchdown.
Keep Talib on the outside going up against Sonoris Moss. We talked about the play last week against Terrell Owens. Kind of the same thing. He's in position to make a play, but he doesn't make the play.
Even Vinny Testaverde, who began his NFL career in 1987, scored 3 touchdowns during the streak. It was common to see all Miami plays unfold. On this play, we see Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame running back Edgerrin James blast through the A-gap past Miami Hall of Fame linebacker Ray Lewis, only to be tackled by Miami Hurricanes Hall of Famer and legendary safety Ed Reed. In 2007, Miami lost their other legendary safety Sean Taylor, who when he passed away was contending for best safety in the league status with fellow Hurricane Ed Reed.
Those players before the game, they are playing with a unique purpose here tonight. You can see it in the passionate running of McGahee, the emotion of Ray Lewis pre-kick, the moment of silence with tears in his eyes. You know their heads and their hearts were in Miami, playing with a heavy heart. Listen to the 3 Canes on the Ravens side before the game tonight.
Son, it's the only thing we playing for tonight. Do you understand that? Not a game. This is family right now. And one of our brothers is going home ready. Let's send him home ready. Not by the outcome of the game, but by how you play the game. Let's give everything we got for 21 tonight. Give everything we got for that man tonight.
Ray is like the godfather of that Miami fraternity. Reed and McGahee were teammates on Miami's national championship team in 2001 with the late Sean Taylor.
Peyton Manning orchestrating the offense, connecting to Reggie Wayne for a crucial first down, only for Edgerrin James or even Javaris James to punch it in the end zone. The Miami connection extended beyond just offensive plays. On Antrell Roll's block return touchdown, fellow Hurricane Calais Campbell is the one that makes a crucial block on the kick before Roll returns it for a touchdown.
You can see the penetration up the middle. There's our guy Calais Campbell again, 6'8". You get that type of penetration and you're 6'8". You're able to get your hand up there and knock that ball down, and
It's blocked straight up in the air. Antrell Roll has the football. And unglide into the end zone for a touchdown.
In Washington, you'd witness Clinton Portis slicing through defenses for a rushing touchdown on one drive, only to see Santana Moss haul in a deep pass for a score on the next possession. The Hurricanes' versatility and talent were on display every week across multiple NFL teams. Even more intriguing were the Hurricane versus Hurricane matchups. In this matchup, you see Sean Taylor patrolling the secondary for Washington, facing off against Jeremy Shockey.
Fake, Ronaldo Wayne right in his face, into the end zone. It's going to be just deflected. It was for Shockey, and Sean Taylor right on the money, all over Shockey, right at the 1 yard line.
Miami against Miami. Yep. I tell you what, that was a great play right there against the rookie.
Boy, Ronaldo Wayne was right in the face of Eli Manning, who got it off.
And he made it. Great throw that time.
Shockey almost caught it.
Almost caught it. Hit him in the hands. But Taylor shocked it.
This widespread influence across the league, with Hurricanes often playing starting roles on opposing teams, just highlights the depth and quality of NFL talent Miami produced during this era. But it wasn't always easy. Twice, the streak came down to the wire on Monday Night Football. In Week 4 of 2003, with just 4 minutes and 21 seconds left in the game, Bubba Franks kept hope alive with a clutch touchdown. This was also known as one of Brett Favre's most memorable games as a Packer. 2 years later on Monday Night Football, in Week 2 of 2005, Santana Moss continued his Hurricane legend status, scoring not once, but twice in the final 4 minutes to extend the streak and win the game for the Redskins.
Brunell hanging in.
Going deep, and the pass is caught for a touchdown by Santana Moss.
Those plays from the 30. Brunell going deep for Moss.
Again, he makes the catch, and Santana Moss for a touchdown. Wow. And again, it's Lynn and Williams on the coverage. He beats the same 2 guys. In his 2 years, this was only a 13-0 game, but this would rank right up there in terms of improbability.
The streak was a family affair. Santana Moss contributed 53 touchdowns, while his brother Sonoris added 3 more. Edgerrin James found the end zone 50 times, and his cousin Javaris chipped in with 6 crucial scores. Even NFL royalty got involved. Jarrett Payton, son of legendary Chicago Bears running back Walter Payton, contributed 2 touchdowns to keep the streak alive. During this era, Miami's reputation as tight end U was firmly established, with the program's tight ends playing a pivotal role in maintaining the incredible 149 NFL touchdown streak. This nickname was well earned, as Miami consistently produced elite tight end talent that made immediate impacts at the professional level. Leading the charge was Jeremy Shockey, who contributed an impressive 33 touchdowns during the streak, 26 of his 33 touchdowns coming from within 10 yards of the goal line. Not far behind was Greg Olsen, who added 24 touchdowns to the tally. G-Reg's consistency was remarkable, scoring in each of his first 5 NFL seasons and peaking with 8 touchdowns in 2009. Kellen Winslow Jr. also made a significant impact, finding the end zone 23 times during this period, including clutch performances in the streak's final weeks. Winslow's impact extended beyond just his scoring. He was selected 6th overall in the NFL draft, a testament to his exceptional talent. His high selection was rare for tight ends, with only Vernon Davis matching his draft position and Kyle Pitts being selected higher in years since. This underscores the evolving importance of the tight end position in the modern NFL passing game, a trend that Miami was at the forefront of. The tight end contributions weren't limited to just these 3. Bubba Franks chipped in with 16 touchdowns, including a crucial score with just 4 minutes and 21 seconds left in a Monday Night Football game that kept the streak alive. Jimmy Graham, though joining the NFL later in the streak, made an immediate impact with 11 touchdowns, further cementing Miami's reputation for producing NFL-ready tight ends. Collectively, these tight ends accounted for over 100 touchdowns during the streak, a staggering number that underscores Miami's dominance in producing elite tight end talent. This consistent production from the tight end position not only contributed significantly to the longevity of the touchdown streak, but also helped reshape the way NFL teams viewed and utilized tight ends in their offensive schemes. It wasn't just offensive stars keeping the streak alive. Miami's defensive alumni proved they could find the end zone too, turning defense into instant offense. Of course, Ed Reed was a standout, scoring an incredible 13 times in 4 different ways. But he wasn't alone. The legendary Ray Lewis found pay dirt 3 times, Antrell Roll notched 5 defensive touchdowns, Jonathan Vilma and Nate Webster each scored twice, Dwayne Starks, Bruce Johnson, Brandon Merriweather, and the late great Sean Taylor all contributed with crucial touchdowns.
Sean Taylor just scored his first career NFL touchdown.
Johnson's picked off. This is going to be run back for a touchdown. That is Merriweather taking it in untouched.
And that pass is intercepted. Williams ran inside, and it's Bruce Johnson to the outside for a touchdown. A rookie free agent out of Miami of Florida.
Only rookie free agent to make the Giants this year, Bruce Johnson. He got picked on a little last week, but what a play here tonight.
And the Giants, on a night when they have injuries in that secondary and have to play a guy like Johnson.
Warren Sapp even contributed as a goal line tight end and scored 2 touchdowns.
And it's Sapp. You think he loves it? Warren Sapp for the touchdown.
Sometimes it took something extraordinary. In the 100th week of the streak, only 1 Hurricane found the end zone. But boy, did he do it in style.
From Cobb, and he is still going down the sideline. Brent Selleck trying to cut him off. Reed needs one more block. He goes all the way. Touchdown.
Didn't just preserve the streak, it set an NFL record that still stands today. Reed was a do-it-all player who was a household name during this run, scoring 13 touchdowns in 4 different ways: interception returns, block returns, fumble recoveries, and even a punt return. 5 of Ed Reed's touchdowns came in the 4th quarter, often when games are at their most crucial. 3 of his touchdowns gave the Ravens the lead, demonstrating his ability to change the course of the games. 7 of his touchdowns were from 30 or more yards, and he wasn't just scoring, but doing so in spectacular fashion. He scored against 7 different NFL opponents. As a safety, scoring 13 regular season touchdowns is extraordinarily rare. Most defensive players might score 1 or 2 touchdowns in their entire career. Many of Ed's touchdowns dramatically shifted momentum. For instance, his 107-yard return against Philadelphia turned a potential go-ahead score for the Eagles into a 2-score lead for the Ravens. Ed Reed's statistical prowess just underscores why he's considered one of the greatest safeties of all time. Reed exemplifies the type of game-changing talent that Miami consistently produced during this era. capable from scoring from anywhere on the field at any time. Without his big touchdown against Philadelphia, the streak would have stopped at 99 weeks. What makes the streak truly remarkable is its breadth. We're not talking about 1 or 2 stars carrying the load, but 33 different Hurricanes scoring during this run. From Pro Bowlers to practice squad call-ups, every touchdown mattered. Week after week, season after season, the streak endured. Through injuries, bye weeks, and tough matchups, Miami alumni always found a way. They went only 13 weeks without scoring at least 2 touchdowns. The high point was week 2 of 2007, when 8 different Hurricanes scored touchdowns, tying an NFL record. Frank Gore, Willis McGahee, Clinton Portis, Santana Moss, Kellen Winslow Jr., Roscoe Parrish, and Devin Hester all found the end zone that week. Speaking of Hester, he was a streak saver extraordinaire. The electrifying return man scored 32 touchdowns during this period, including 13 punt returns, 5 kick returns, and even a missed field goal return. On October 2nd, 2011, Hester etched his name in record books with a breathtaking 69-yard punt return touchdown against the Carolina Panthers. He became the NFL's all-time leader in punt return touchdowns with 11, surpassing Eric Metcalf's long-standing record. But Hester wasn't done. Came November 13th, 2011, a date that would become pivotal in the streak's history. As a punt spiraled towards him, Hester knew the weight of the U's legacy rested on his shoulder. 82 electrifying yards later, he crossed the goal line against the Detroit Lions. Little did anyone know, this would be the final touchdown of Miami's incredible 149-week streak. In just 6 weeks, Hester had scored 3 times in 3 different ways, each touchdown more crucial than the last. It was a fitting finale for a streak built on versatility, explosiveness, and an uncanny ability to find the end zone by any means necessary. Devin Hester, the Hurricane who could strike from anywhere on the field, had kept the storm raging for one last glorious month. The Miami Hurricanes' impact on the NFL special teams during the 149-week touchdown streak was nothing short of extraordinary. At the forefront of this special teams dominance was Devin Hester, whose 20 return touchdowns revolutionized the return game and struck fear into opposing teams. Ed Reed, primarily known for his defensive prowess, added 4 special teams touchdowns, including 3 blocked punt returns. Roscoe Parrish and Phillip Buchanan each contributed 3 punt return touchdowns, showcasing Miami's depth of talent in the return game.
If you talk big, you better play big like that. Parrish, boy, he's got a wall. There goes Roscoe. Roscoe Parrish looking for pay dirt, and there it is.
Hendrick sends a wobbler toward Buchanan at the 18. Oh, he's in the open. See if nobody's going to catch Phillip Buchanan, and what a debut for this kid from Miami.
The Hurricanes' special teams impact extended beyond just returns. Antrell Roll scored on a blocked field goal return, while Andre King found the end zone on a blocked punt return. In Week 11 of 2011, the incredible run came to an end. It took a perfect storm. Key injuries to players like Andre Johnson and Jeremy Shockey, several stars like Reggie Wayne and Frank Gore on bye weeks, and a nullified touchdown by Kellen Winslow Jr. to finally snap the streak. Had that penalty not been called, the streak could have extended to 150 weeks and probably beyond. Consider how much longer it may have continued. The following week, Jimmy Graham and Reggie Wayne both scored touchdowns. This near miss adds an element of bittersweet what if to the end of the streak. It shows how precarious such a streak can be, hanging by a thread each week, subject to the whims of officials' calls and inches on the field. Just cruel irony that the streak celebrating Miami's offensive prowess was ended not by a failure to score, but by an offensive foul. To put this in perspective, the next longest streak belongs to Oklahoma, with an impressive 96 consecutive weeks of alumni scoring touchdowns in the NFL. While this is a remarkable achievement in its own right, it still falls short of Miami's incredible 149-week run. Despite Nick Saban's Alabama dynasty, widely considered one of the greatest in college football history, even his powerhouse programs haven't been able to match Miami's NFL scoring prowess. As of 2023, Alabama's longest streak stands at 84 weeks. Certainly impressive, but still well behind Miami's record. While Saban's Alabama's teams dominated college football, winning multiple national championships, and sending a steady stream of players to the NFL, they never accumulated the critical mass of consistent NFL scores that Miami did during this streak. Miami didn't just produce NFL talent, but players who immediately impacted the game on the professional level in the most crucial way, finding the end zone. The streak spanned nearly a decade, outlasting coaching changes, injuries, and the natural ebb and flow of player careers. The streak is longer than Joe DiMaggio's 56 game hitting streak in terms of calendar days. It spanned from December 2002 to November 2011, a period that saw transformative changes in both the world at large and in the game of football. When the streak began, the world was still grappling with the aftermath of 9/11, the Iraq War was on the horizon, and flip phones were the height of mobile technology. Social media as we know it today was non-existent. Facebook wouldn't be founded until 2004, and Twitter wouldn't launch until 2006. By the time the streak ended, the technological landscape had undergone a revolution. The iPhone, first released in 2007, had already gone through multiple iterations, fundamentally changing how people interacted with technology. Android phones, introduced in 2008, provided strong competition in the smartphone market. Social media had become a global phenomenon, with Facebook and Twitter playing increasingly central roles in communication and information sharing. The world had also witnessed the election of the first African-American U.S. president, survived a global financial crisis, and seen the rise of streaming services beginning to challenge traditional television. When the streak began in December 2002, the NFL was a markedly different league than it would become by the streak's end. The turn of the millennium was still very much an era dominated by power running game and stout defenses. This was perhaps best exemplified by the Baltimore Ravens' Super Bowl victory in 2001, just before the streak began. That Ravens team, led by linebacker Ray Lewis, boasted one of the most dominant defenses in NFL history, while fielding an offense that was historically ineffective. The Ravens won the Super Bowl despite an offense that failed to score a touchdown in 5 consecutive games during the regular season. In that stretch, they actually won 2 of those 5 games, and in the 3 losses, held their opponents to an average of 11 points. They won the Super Bowl 12 weeks later. The very definition of defense wins championships, if you're into that kind of stuff. Their quarterback, Trent Dilfer, was considered a mere game manager, for only 1,500 yards and 12 touchdowns in 11 starts. This strategy, leaning heavily on a bruising run game and a dominant defense while asking quarterbacks to simply not lose the game, was not unique to Baltimore, though they certainly took it to the extreme. The belief that defense wins championships and that a strong running game was crucial for success remained a widely accepted truism. While not every NFL team adopted a strategy as run-heavy and quarterback-averse as the Ravens, this conservative offensive mindset was still prevalent across the NFL at the turn of the millennium. In this context, Miami's ability to consistently produce NFL-ready offensive talent, particularly at skill positions, was remarkable. As the league gradually shifted towards a more pass-oriented offense, Miami players were at the forefront of this evolution. The Hurricane streak spanned the transition from an era where a team could win a Super Bowl with a historically ineffective offense to one where pass records were being shattered on a regular basis. Hurricane players adapted and excelled across changing NFL paradigms. 149 weeks, 661 touchdowns, 34 players, one unbreakable bond forged at the U. A testament to Miami's unparalleled ability to produce NFL-ready talent. The way the streak ended is almost as impressive as the streak itself. It took a perfect storm of events to snap it: a nullified touchdown, multiple key injuries, and several players on bye weeks. This shows how resilient and widespread Miami's NFL presence was. The fact that it took this combination of events to end the streak is a testament to its strength. Jimmy Graham and Reggie Wayne scored the very next week after the streak ended, proving Miami's NFL dominance wasn't just a streak, it was a way of life. There are 53 NFL spots on a roster, and typically only about half of those players see significant playing time. For Miami to consistently have not just players on rosters, but players in position to score is incredible. Each NFL team has 1 bye week per season. During this time, that would mean for about 1/17 of the season, any given player is not playing. Miami had to overcome this consistently, for nearly a decade. The NFL has a high injury rate. According to some studies, up to 68% of players may be injured in a given season. Miami's streak had to continue through inevitable injuries and key players missing. Not all positions on the field have equal opportunities to score. Primarily, it's offensive skill positions and occasional defensive players who score. The NFL is designed for parity, with drafts, salary caps, and scheduling all aimed at leveling the playing field. This makes consistent performance over 149 weeks even more impressive. The average NFL career is just 3.3 years. Miami's streak spanned nearly a decade, meaning it had to be maintained across multiple generations of players. Also consider that every NFL team has players from multiple schools. For Miami to consistently outperform alumni from all other schools in terms of scoring is incredibly impressive. Also, in just probability theory, the longer a streak continues, the less likely it is to persist. Each week, the odds of the streak continuing should have decreased, yet it went on for 149 weeks. When you consider all these factors, the injury rates, the positional limitations, the scarcity of scoring opportunities, the NFL's push for parity, and the short average career span, the improbability of the streak becomes clear. From the Orange Bowl to NFL end zones, Miami players brought their unique swagger and style to every touchdown. They put on a show, changing the very culture of professional football. The used NFL touchdown streak, proof that sometimes lightning doesn't just strike twice, sometimes it strikes 149 times in a row. A record that may never be broken, and a legacy that will live forever in football lore. Once again, guys, thank you guys for watching. If you guys like videos like this, please like and subscribe, share, and let me know what you guys think about Miami's streak in the comments. Once again, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and go Canes.